Everything ever done wrong to a human, the brunt came out of Hannah. Now, it's not funny. It is funny, but it's not funny because she was declared dead in 2019 and it took months to bring it back to life. So, this is where I am today. I'm living, but at a very lethal cost. Like, it's, you know, if I didn't have Turkish doctors, I would have been finished. And they got injured, some of them, is my guess. I don't know. But there's a makeshift hospital in the back because it's one of those twisted relationships between Lucifer and myself. So this is where we are today, just giving you an overview. So between how bad he omened people, between me going to Bank of Nova Scotia now and paying off my debt, instead of 3 accounts, I had 4. These are real things that happened. And it took like 3 hours of me sitting there because they're doing time delay fraud. Between what else? Them inside Royal Bank. Like, this is a gift to them, and this is the power of Europe. And it's really not funny because they're working with United States media to try to regulate the globe, and we actually want to decentralize them, and use it for green industry. That's part of the exhibit. So they did so much harm, and once I died, I died. They had no hope in the world. The skull came off, limbs came off, pretty ugly. So that's another reason why the name Prophet Hannah is sticking. That's not why I got it originally. I originally got it in southern Turkey because we did a lot of work with the Kurds. And, they said, you're a beautiful mother. But how harmful, we're studying the globe and myself at how harmful the devil's work really was. Think about it. Your Achilles heel is cut so you can't wear heels. Your lips were made thinner. Your teeth changed. At one point, below the nose, I was missing. So they had to construct. They clipped under the eyes this way. Changed my color of my eyes, and kind of, I think, changed the spherical, because I have a perfect face prior to this, and it's a UNESCO face, so they don't care. They have to have their bronzers. It's a mean of control. So the secondary group of CIA agents, I think, is doing that, and they were probably Greek because they want it centralized. We don't want media ever centralized again, because then we should be shutting down YouTube and Facebook. But how are they going to control and manipulate and live their lavish mansion styles? Because they cater to that 85% that feeds the G8 countries. You see, like, I'm taking away time from one of the boys that is in lockdown. And that's a very fair thing. Very fair thing. But all I'm trying to do is present, because when I die, because this is the authentic version, poof, it's going to all close. You're never going to see Hannah again till 20,000 years when the secret societies open that vault, unless the exhibit gives us a different response. So that's where we are today. Every time, effective 2013 with combat history, and this is why they got fired on, because, and think about it, I'm writing a book called Evolve. You're having to get a weapon now. Like, I've never done anything like that. Because every time I went to try to get money, they felt good crushing one of those types of Jews. And they had no clue. And then the other group were saying, your service, like, they want me to be some type of service for them. And I'm looking at them funny. Is this what you do to humans? You have to understand, I come, and this is what makes the story really fluky. I come from an industry that sort of manages. So this is based off a true story. I mean, there's nothing, I'm not competing with anybody. They don't get it. For the reason is, do your own thing. There's no competition. I was famous prior to 2013, and they don't get it. If you don't know, I'm sorry. That is because a lot of it involved things that sort of fell through the loops. And it just because, Lucifer was involved, he was too busy omening or doing whatever he's doing. So this is where we are today. Some of the challenges. And when I went, for example, to Great West Life, they were supposed to give me money that went to the actress. So between, needing therapy and all that, they're just doing constant fraud, and they're feeling better, and they're rewiring all of Canada. And they brought down hookers, and those girls just want the money. So they started legalizing all my work, not realizing there is a history before the 2013 events. So this is really one of the longest stories, and it's very colorful. It involves assassins, it involves transgenders, it involves the hookers, it involves different countries' armies. It is based off a true story. If I die tomorrow, I'm still the richest female. They don't get that because I got it witnessed before I even started writing. I just knew I was talented. So I wanted to protect Canada's interest. And what ended up happening to Canada, a lot of Canadians died. And it's really heart-wrenching. And it's heart-wrenching for the Indian and the Chinese community because you see that explosion that occurred. We're talking about a 13-year period that they felt they had to jack because the white man abused them. The white man abused them so much historically. So they started killing themselves, and now they're saying, they're not giving us a chance. Everything has to be audited back to 2013 because it got witnessed. They don't get it. But they have to take out that energy of every bad thing some Jew has done to them has nothing to do with me. And the saddest part is I'm sort of like a regulator for these guys. And they didn't want to be regulated. They didn't want to change their system. I don't want to change their system. I just want to present. I got permission to present. But I had to, whoa, as media intercepted that wings and, a lot of people got killed. We talking, when you push a woman to the ground and she's working on a certain project, when you push her to the ground, the woman said, whoa, the army said, whoa, let them do whatever they want. So we are 13 years later, and I died. I died in 2019. What do you want? I want to do part 2. Blue is linked to the interactive. Then they started abusing doctors and this and that and a whole song and a dance. And this is why we actually really should continue with this. And it has nothing to do with the devil's tongue. You have to understand, I did Uber, I did TikTok. 13 years, 35,000 pages. Someone has it. No, someone doesn't have it. The wolves have it, and they're going to chuck it in the trash because you're being so friggin' arrogant. But it's a big challenge. Every time I walk to try to make $5, they're behind me. And we're talking 1 billion people. And we got to change that because we are a Christian country and we are a very proper country. We're not accustomed to squalor like that. But they had to release that, and they're screaming and their antics. You have to understand, they're screaming their heads off. A form of excitable animal. Well, when you release an excitable animal into Canada, and I blame Europe for this, when you release an excitable animal into Canada, tell them that's the kind of Jew that hurts you. You could only imagine what Hannah went through, which is myself. Year 13, we are day 4,921 in the standoff, because every time I move, there's 1 billion